Sugar. Coors Beer calls. Golden, Colorado. They brought in a bunch of sugar from Hawaii to make a specialty holiday brew. And for whatever reason, there was 30,000 pounds of sugar left. That's 3/4 of a semi-load. And guess what? There was a little date on the bags of sugar, and it reached its expiration date. So no longer good for human consumption. Couldn't be used in chocolate chip cookies, couldn't be used in Kool-Aid. 30,000 pounds. So if we think about recycling, what would be the recycling thing you would do with this? Would be to send it to compost and turn it into dirt. That would be equivalent to recycling. But if we're thinking reuse, use it as is, what do you do with 30,000 pounds of expired sugar? A very enterprising beekeepers took the whole load. I'm going to make sugar water to supplement the bees' diets when the flowers aren't blooming. Sir, that's great, but you do know that this is expired, right? His response, do you think the bees care? Cheese. What's the big problem in the cheese industry? At the retail level, at the wholesale level, if you don't sell it fast enough, it becomes stinky, mold gets on it, it becomes smelly. You throw it away, or not unlike the sugar, you send it to compost. But what industry buys brand new cheese, sits it on the shelf, and can't wait for it to get smelly and gross to make their product? Any anglers? Any catfishermen? What is cheese bait? What is stink bait? So here, on one side of the street, or one side of the state, or one side of the nation, smelly, rotten cheese is a big, big problem. And on the other side of the nation, they're buying brand new, perfect cheese and just wishing it would hurry up and get smelly and rotten to make their product. Here's a good Pennsylvania one. I was born and raised in central Kansas. Where are the salt mines in the United States? Western PA, central Kansas. Not unlike coal mining or any other type of underground mining, you go in, you excavate the minerals or the resources, and when they leave, it's all done, they have these abandoned underground mines. What's present? Attributes, characteristics, and engineering. Stable temperature, stable humidity, unbelievable security, it's hundreds of feet underground. All the things they're spending hundreds of dollars a square foot to build on top of the ground for document storage. So instead of using new steel and new stuff to build it on top of the ground, can we not just reclaim or repurpose these old salt mines? Notice lower right picture, what color is the ceiling? It's white. So that is a reclaimed salt mine for document storage. We've already picked on the FAA once, so we're going to pick on the FAA twice. So we, as a repurposer, you love highly regulated industries. USDA, FAA, DOT, DOD, because they have very aggressive rules and stuff, because a lot of times lives are at stake, and it's probably good that they have really strict rules. Crazy rule, paint. Airline paint. You have to open that 5-gallon bucket within 2 years of date of manufacture. And if it's 2 years and 1 day, you can't paint an airliner. So at 1 year, 364 days, we can open up the 5-gallon bucket, the blue paint, and paint the Airbus A350. At 2 years and 1 day, most of it is sent out as hazardous waste and burned. Attributes, characteristics, and engineering. Paint obviously adheres, it sticks. You know, your car paint, what is it? 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, maybe 150 miles an hour? A jetliner, 550 miles an hour. So it's super, super sticky. Another attribute of airline paint or all those kinds of paints is it flexes as the temperature increases and decreases. So here in Pennsylvania, your car might be 100 degrees in the summer, but you have to wait 6 months for it to get 10 below. But over that time period, that paint flexes. Contrast that with an airliner. He takes off in the summer at Heathrow in London. How does he get to Phoenix, Arizona? Over the North Pole in 8 hours. Minus 60, minus 70 over the North Pole. He lands in Phoenix, 120. And that's the air temperature on the concrete tarmac. It's probably 140, 150. Just think about how much flexing that paint had to do. But yet, FAA rules are, after 2 years, we have to burn it. Why can't we just paint some low-cost structure? I mean, this is amazingly engineered paint, but the airline industry doesn't know the farmer in Iowa who needs to paint his tractor or paint his barn. So we just, I don't know what, mindlessly or lazily, but you could argue mindlessly and lazily. It's already been amortized, it's paid for, it's off the books, let's just send it to be burned. Any horse people? Oh, the spoiler, so. Off-track thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds are made to run races and run really fast, win the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness. But, like all performance animals, only a certain percentage make it. And what do you do with a horse that doesn't run fast enough? Lower right is Blackfoot Mystery. First 3 races, finished dead last. 3 for 3, dead last. Sucked as a racehorse. Was retired as a racehorse, but got repurposed into a show jumping horse. And think about attributes, characteristics, and engineering. In its second life, it was jumping. It was never asked to jump in life number 1. And so good was Blackfoot Mystery, was the gold medal winner in 2016 in the Olympics as a show jumper, life number 2. So we often get asked, does repurposing make more sense economically or environmentally? Environmentally, if you're a source company and you have paint, if you have cheese, if you have sugar, outdoor signs, it's great when there's a repurpose for it because you don't have to landfill it. You can do something else with it instead of landfill it. Certainly buying stuff used, whether you buy used vehicles, used clothes, everything I'm wearing today is from a thrift store. You typically save 50 to 75%, so it makes sense both ways. Said another way, repurposing is at the intersection of affordability and sustainability. Thank you for your time.